Really? You got to be kidding me.
All right, so maybe the solution to our affordability problems, Dad, is that everyone needs to be driving a Jeep Gladiator. The first time I have ever seen, and we've been doing this, I've been in the auto industry for 3.5 years, my dad 43 years. Jeep Gladiator gets record $20,000 discount off of MSRP.
Wow. See what happens when stuff doesn't sell?
$20,000 discount. Now, I got to ask you, if you actually contacted this dealership, do you think the price would actually be $32,346? The MSRP is $52,505. Dealer discount of $12,283, $7,876 in rebates. Internet price of $32,346. Do you think it's bait and switch, Pops, or do you think the $20,000 discounts are here to stay for Gladiators?
I think it's bait and switch because there's $7,876 of available rebates, and probably most people might qualify for, I don't know, $3,500 of that. So I think they've added every rebate that is humanly possible that 99% of the population does not qualify for. That's just my guess, having spent 43 years in the car business and knowing how most dealers will use deceptive advertising means to encourage people to, show up and then be disappointed.
Imagine if it was legitimate, and imagine that your $32,000 price point car was a Jeep Gladiator, and we just saw everyone like Honda Civics or Toyota Camrys are now Jeep Gladiators. Everyone's just riding around in those because the quality of them's a little meh. But I mean that'd be an interesting dynamic, that everyone on the highway driving those crazy looking Gladiators.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean that is knowing full well that so many dealers build their business based on deception, and advertising as an industry is, at the very least, psychological deception.
Definitely.
If not outright deception. Do I hate a dealer for doing something like that? Absolutely. Put what the real rebates are that people can qualify for, not the dream rebates. You have to be military, you have to be a recent college graduate, you have to have graduated from an Ivy League school with a 4.0 grade point average. I mean, it's all BS. It's all just when your entire business operation is based on deception. I don't know how you sleep at night. Okay, if you're the owner of that, you have to realize that you're doing something wrong if the only way you feel you can operate is by deceiving your customers to get them to come into your door. At a certain point, there has to be truth in advertising. I wouldn't care if it was the Jeep dealer and said, hey, the Gladiator is way overpriced. You want some truth in advertising? This piece of poo is way overpriced. Okay, we're going to give you a discount of $12,000, and then whatever incentives you qualify for, you will get. Okay, because those factory incentives don't cost the dealer a penny. Not a penny. It's not money out of your pocket.
At a minimum, there's $12,000 that the dealer's taken off of that. I mean, that's insane when you think about what those were selling for, I don't know, even just a year ago.
Well, I mean, when we were at the Jeep dealership and we were looking at cars, and we're going, what is this? What are these dealers thinking? Forget the dealer. What the hell is Jeep thinking pricing them this high?
Buyer paying $840 a month for a Dodge Charger a year after declaring personal bankruptcy. By the way, I love that it's not even a new Charger.
No, it's a 2018.
It's a 2018. It's a 5-year-old Charger.
And this is the really you got to be. I mean, there's so many really you got to be kidding me's within this. But the fact that he declared bankruptcy a year ago because he had bought a car that blew up in a month and just other issues. So he declared bankruptcy, and he goes out and he overpays for a 2018 Charger. And his payment is $840 a month for 72 months.
And how much was it?
72 months. You know,
How much of that is interest? Do you remember how much of that payment is interest?
Well, probably at least half, but I'm going to do something real because, like I can be like my son. We're going to take 840 times 72. Okay. He's paying $60,480 for that 2018 Charger just so he can say, but I'm driving a Charger. And I'm going to say, what the hell is wrong with you? How can you be so foolish as to find yourself in situations where you can't afford the bills you already have? You have to declare personal bankruptcy so that you can then get your house in order, so to speak, your financial house in order, and then turn around and commit to over $60,000 for a 5-year-old Charger at a high interest rate. How stupid can you be? How many times do you have to bang your head against the wall before you go, ooh, that hurts. Maybe I should stop. When I see things like that, honest to God, I think we're doomed as a society. I just don't know how people can't learn anything from their mistakes. There's nothing wrong. We all make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. What's wrong with making mistakes is if you keep making the same damn ones over and over and over again. I'm thinking there's a second bankruptcy in this guy's future when he realizes that he paid way too much for that Charger, and he goes, why do I want to keep making these payments? It's just lunacy, absolute lunacy.
So how about this, Ray? He paid $35,821.29 is what the OTD on the Charger was.
Okay, which was considerably more than it should have been worth, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay.
His interest is $438.65 a month, which equals out to $34,822. So he paid $35,800 for the car, and he's paying $34,800 for interest.
I go back to how stupid can you be?
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, you just have to look at it and go, this doesn't make sense. If some of this stuff made sense, you wouldn't have found yourself in that first bankruptcy. So.
Yeah, and one of the things that struck me is he says he makes $85,000 a year, and his wife makes $40,000 a year. Yeah,
and they have 2 cars.
And they had 2 cars, and when the one blew up, he was riding a scooter for a little bit, but then his wife got pregnant and decided to buy this. You know how practical a 2018 Dodge Charger is for families. It's a good, solid family car.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the first thing I think of when I think family. I think, I got to get me a Charger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I'm thinking of I'm thinking of a phone charger or something like that. Not a Dodge Charger.
Not a Dodge Charger, yes. And we had, before we go, I know we had one more. You got to be kidding me.
Okay.
But, spoke definitely to my heart as well that you sent me. Because for those who on this channel who don't know, my last vehicle was a Kia Optima hybrid vehicle I liked, but I had some issues where the battery light kept coming on. And there was a lifetime recall on the engine. And so I decided, no, I don't want to deal with that. So let's let someone else deal with that. And I got a new vehicle. So here we come. And what was the news today, Ray?
Was something like 3.3 million Hyundais and Kias are being recalled for a potential fire hazard. And you are being told, if you are the owner of one of these cars, not to park it in your garage. Make sure you park it outdoors because, you don't want the building you live in to burn down if and when it catches fire. And I was thinking to myself when I saw this, I thought, well, obviously, these folks are sick and tired of Ford always leading the major leagues in recalls. So they thought, hey, what the heck? Let's have 3.3 million cars of our finest products recalled by the federal. I mean, 3.3 million. And some of these cars date back to what, 2010?
2010 to 2019 is how these shake out. But you know what struck me on these, Ray, is there's only 2 hybrids. These are ICE vehicles, straight ICE vehicles that are catching fire. Like, what?
But that's some pretty staggering numbers from Hyundai Kia.
Yeah.
Taking their shot to try and take over the major league lead in recalls for the year.
That's right. And just for you, Jarrett, you like how we bring up 3.3 million recalls, and we're still able to bash Ford in there. And we were able to do both of them at the same time.
I must be consistent.
That's right. So even if Kia, Hyundai recall $3.3 million, we're still going to bring up that Ford is the leader in recall.
Yes.